We are gathered here this evening to talk about economics. Now, I know this is a very boring subject to many of us, but I want you to know that the purpose of this get-together is to rise Jackson up and to escalate the understanding of what cooperatives are all about.
You just saw.
Okay.
Why are you here this evening?
I am here because I'm interested in working with folks to establish all types of cooperative-owned businesses. I worked in cooperative development since graduating college in 1966. In fact, our organization here is the Federation of Southern Cooperatives. We have some of our founding members in your audience here, and we are just overjoyed that
we finally caught on, huh?
No, not that you caught on yet, but you're in the right ballpark. Okay. So we work with the city to establish community gardens, and our effort is to see if we can't parlay the understanding that we have from developing a community garden, the concept of community gardening, to bring that into some economic opportunities for our folks.
I was a community fellow with MIT, and part of what we began to study is alternative economic systems, recognizing that this nation, globally, we're moving toward corporate oligarchs, where corporations control not only the means of productions, but also water, air, all types of stuff, right? And so the question that we were confronted during this fellowship here, it's a 3-year fellowship, is what are viable alternatives? And first we started looking at the green economy discussion and realized that was nothing but a bunch of buzzwords because as people talk about green economy, there were no jobs. And I'm still looking for the green jobs. So we had an economist to come and present to the group, and I always get his last name wrong, Gar Alperovitz. Alperovitz, thank you. So Gar did a great presentation. He talked about what he seen would be the new economic struggle and how communities had to organize to push back. And it was a cooperative movement. And with that cooperative movement, he gave the example of the Evergreen Cooperative in Cleveland, and talked about how in the shadow of 3 major institutions, Case University, Mayo Clinic, and the other major hospital, how right in the shadows were very poor and blighted communities. With all of that wealth circulating among those institutions, almost like this neighborhood, right in the shadows of the medical center. They came up with a concept of figuring out how to impart a community. But in coming up with it, they began to look globally for solutions, not just in Cleveland, not just in Ohio, but globally. And one of the most successful cooperatives that they ran across was in Spain, Madrigal. There was a Catholic priest who started a school. And in that school, there were about 4 individuals who decided the best way to protect the Bass people was to create an alternative economic system with the primary goal of full employment for all Bass people. Not profit-driven, but full employment, because they want to make sure that all of the people could be self-sufficient. What was unique about the Bass people, that they studied our movement. They studied the movement of the people in Ireland. And what was even more interesting, as we was walking through Montreal downtown, they had graffiti on the wall. You look up, they had a mirror of Malcolm X. By any means necessary. Because for them, the struggle was about self-sufficiency. And so the cooperative movement for Jackson, Mississippi, we need to think about what can be self-sufficient for poor communities. Then we go back to Evergreen. Evergreen, they decided that they can organize the people in that community. That if they develop a high-tech laundromat, That high-tech laundromat can handle the laundry goods from the hospital, the university, Mayo Clinic. And with that, those individuals who work in the high-tech laundromat will be owners. And as owners, they can decide what would be a livable wage. But also as owners, they get equity in the company. And so after 10 years, they're making a livable wage, they have full benefits, but they also have equity. So when they retire, they can retire with dignity.
But one of the wonderful things about the cooperative movement is the circular responsibility of the community. The workers own the company, they elect the board of directors. The board of directors does outreach to the community to in turn get community members to buy shares in the co-op. And so you have circular responsibility. And it's one share, one vote. One share, one vote. So no matter whether you're the packer or the executive director or the head of HR, you still have that same one vote, and that is a powerful equalizer. So no matter what you do, that's the basis of kind of cooperative movement.
So I get excited about co-ops. Co-ops are empowerment for our people. It uplifts them. When you own something, don't you feel better about it? Yeah, so you own your own business and you work in your own business and you have a decision about how your company is run. I mean, hey, what we want more than that is to talk about our own destiny, where we going and how we live and how we act.